In the beginning, God created humankind in God's image and likeness. And so Godlight, the light of God, was in all of us from the very beginning, and it still is. It's just that we've tended to forget. And it was as if God used a golden thread, a thread of love, a thread of grace, to bind us to God's self. And yet even with that thread, it still felt like, well, we weren't so special. And from time to time, we wandered away and we felt the thread snap. And from time to time, even in our churches, we find things confusing and we find ourselves doubting, and it feels like the thread is giving way. And sometimes we go to elders or pastors or clergy to talk about this, and some of them, it triggers fear in themselves, and so the fractures seem more profound. And it seems that for all of our striving to climb ladders of perfection, it seems like we're just showing our imperfections. And it ends up so often with us feeling nothing more than a whole mass of broken threads. But you know, the story doesn't end there, because that light has never gone out. It might seem from time to time like the light becomes so furious that it burns us. It might seem like the light, and we sometimes attribute dark terms to it, like Almighty God who cannot look upon sin, or the God who purges sin from us, or the God who casts us into a lake of fire. Dark images, destructive images, fearful images of a God who seems to oppose us. And yet, that's not where the story began. The story began with the Godlight inside of us. We ask ourselves, has God changed? No. What's changed is our perception. We need to remember. To remember means to reconnect. To stop striving for what we think is out there, our perfection, and to come back to the bottom, to the harder things. You know that when we climb the ladder of perfection, we're climbing away from the Godlight. Sometimes when we fall from that ladder, we fall back into it. So don't be afraid of falls. Don't be afraid of failures. Don't be afraid of imperfections. The Godlight is always there, and the thread of grace never, ever broke, not even once.